I'm Derek Wilson, Chief Strategy Officer at Silver Key. Silver Key, we are a local nonprofit for more than 50 years. We've been serving the Pikes Peak region. We're committed to making this the best community in the nation to age. We do that by preserving the dignity and independence of older adults, allowing them the choice to safely and healthy age as they choose. And we achieve that through really four pillars of service. A lot of people know us for our reserve and ride transportation service, the shuttles they see around town. Our home delivered meals, including the Meals on Wheels provider locally, nutrition service, our health and wellness services, which run the spectrum from guardianship, wards of the state, all the way to I have a need, question, or concern. Can you help me for myself or a loved one? We have that full spectrum. And then finally, housing. And housing is a couple of parts. The first one being housing navigation, home modification, and then we are in the start of our housing development. We're going to have a 50-unit housing complex, God willing, to connect to our facility here coming in the next few years. We're under the process of going through the LIHTC application to get financing and to have that. So those are the pillars that we utilize to make all these things happen in our community to help those seniors. Our tagline at Silver Key is "Aging is all of us." And we came up with this. There's kind of a backstory, but the shortest version of this is that it's the only, to our knowledge, shared life experience that every one of us will go through. Aging is synonymous with living. So the opposite of aging, of course, is death or dying or dead. And so we like the idea that aging is all of us. And though it's not necessarily the gender or what race you are, where you worship, or who you love. It is the one common thread that we will all have, is that aging experience. And we want that journey to be just the best journey possible, since every one of us will encounter it. And despite all those other protected classes, which are important as well, we want to make sure that the aging component is something that is the value, worth, and needs of all seniors are honored and, whenever possible, met. Our history, it's a really fascinating story. I'll kind of give you the short version. Our founding happened because of our founder, Betsy Myers Burroughs. She had a dream about more than 50 years ago, 1970. She had a dream, and in that dream, she saw the city of Colorado Springs, and over it hung a cloud. In the city of Colorado Springs, she saw the seniors in the city that were alone, socially isolated, not having needs met. And a cloud hung over the city. That cloud had a silver lining, and a door appeared in the cloud, and then in that dream, a key appeared to open that door. And she stepped through. And when she woke up, she said, we need to do something. And so her, along with a group of concerned citizens, came together and said, let's form this place called Silver Key. And, the whole play on the word silver, and then the kind of the key to successful aging, that type of thing. That's how it was birthed, and it was just concerned citizens about senior needs, particularly those in nursing homes originally. It expanded to a whole lot more, as I mentioned, all those services that we provide. But also the idea of helping them age in place, helping them to whatever that might look like. So that could be in their own home, that could be in an independent facility, it could be in something else. Either way, we're there through all those different mechanisms, tools, and mediums by which we connect with seniors, or their families, to make sure that their needs are met. So it's a little bit about, steadily through the decades, we've added services. We've been able to add those things that it became necessary through the years, and more available. So the use of technology, for example, and the way we've been able to partner with organizations and companionship. Additional needs, the city continues to grow outward and expand. So, that changes things. And then some of our other additional services and offerings for sustainability we've also brought in too. So those are just some of the things. So our service extension is something that we're super excited about. It's been a primary focus or objective for us this current year and to the foreseeable future. As I just mentioned, that we are growing as a community. I mean, when I moved here in 2007, I moved from Phoenix. originally from Illinois. And so, I moved here, and the city, the whole county, I think, had maybe 250,000 people in it. We're well over 750,000 people now, roughly 14 years later, and we're expected to go more than a million in the next 10 to 15 years. And current pace of growth, I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't do it sooner. The other thing that's notable is that the rate of seniors in our community, the percentage, is double the national average. And in fact, those over 85, it's over a 300% increase, that folks are estimating that we'll be at in the next 10 to 15 years. So the need is great. And where the need is at has changed. So our office location, a lot of people knew we were in Old Colorado City. About 6-7 years ago, we moved to our current location. Our home office is at 1625 South Murray Boulevard. And so we said, well, how can we best meet the needs of a growing community, particularly those that are expanding out east, which is where we see phenomenal growth out east, and that's the Falcon Payton and the Callahan communities. And so with that, we received some CDBG, Community Development Block Grant funding from the county. Two parts. One is for meals, to bring meals to seniors out in that space. Meals, food is medicine. That's a big part of what we do. And the other part is the second half of that funding, which is related to behavioral health and mental health type of issues, all the resource navigation and counseling, therapeutics assessments, those types of things. So we've led with the meals because food kind of brings people to the table. And at the same time, it's something that we want to make sure, we get them fed because the need is great there. It's in a unique partnership with the Pikes Peak Library District, PPLD, and they've allowed us to utilize some of their room space there 1 day per week right now. Tuesdays from roughly 11 to 2, we are out there handing out 5 packs of frozen meals that folks are able to take, reheat. They were all freshly prepared here at our facility at Murray, and then they're flash frozen, and then they're able to just reheat them. These are nutritious, delicious meals, so they meet the USDA guidance for low fat and low sodium, and so they're able to enjoy those. And right now, for those 60 plus, they're able to get those at no cost to the senior because it's being funded through this grant. We have a whole bunch of other services that part of that sustainability model out there that we're hoping to bring that are very competitively priced. There are a self-pay, private pay, but competitively priced because, again, the needs are out there. And we think that when the folks in those communities see what all that we offer and the quality, that they're going to want even more than just the meals. I focused on the meals out there. The other part I would focus on would be that mental health piece. That's probably very important to your audience in particular. Seniors face unique needs, barriers, and circumstances that knowing that geriatric population, knowing the senior audience, their thought processes go to things differently. I'll give you an example. When it came to the world of COVID, and we had to pivot a lot of things, a lot of folks said, this has really hit seniors hard, which it did, and the need was immediate right there for that. But one of the things that we found is that most seniors that we talk to, and we serve more than 11,000 unique seniors annually and growing. One of the things that we found was that they wouldn't say, oh, I'm very scared about getting COVID. What they were afraid of was that they would get COVID and quote, become a burden to their family or friends. That's what they were concerned with. And so with that, we wanted to address those concerns, and this may dovetail into another part of the conversation. We adopted the 5 Wishes document, and maybe you or your audience is familiar with 5 Wishes. So we are a 5 Wishes informed organization. We are a national role model with the 5 Wishes organization. They're a national nonprofit based out of Florida. And this document is a easy to understand legal document that anyone 18 or older can and should complete to let their wishes be known. And this is a document that we're also bringing to those communities at the pop-up sites in a way to serve them better. It's no cost to those that want to complete it. It's a binding legal document that lets their wishes be known, and that allows for folks to say, when it comes to end-of-life care, when it comes to end-of-life decisions, medical and otherwise, they're able to be clear about that. And seniors, more than anybody, have that burden on them, and when they complete the document, that anxiety, that burden is often lifted. These are the words that we're hearing from the clients in the community that checks this out. So I'd love to share more about that if you have questions on that more, but yeah. So in terms of benefits, number one, we not every community has a silver key. Now, many communities have things that are like silver key light, are similar. Not I can't believe it's not. It's not the same. They're often fragmented parts. So one organization might do the rides, one organization might do the meals, one organization might. So the real benefit is the wraparound family of services that Silver Key offers. We know that makes a big difference. And we've been doing this for more than 50 years. We're experts in this area. We bring, high quality services to all seniors with all the diverse services to all the neighborhoods. It's not limited based on income or any of those other things. We want to make sure everyone has access to the type of healthcare and human service needs that we uniquely can meet. I think another thing that's really cool about this community is how much this community, cares for the seniors in our space. They have continuously stepped up, and we are seen as a leader, a thought leader, and a trusted resource to send people to and direct people to. A lot of communities also, they rely on the government to do it, and no fault. We appreciate government funding, but one of the things that's really nice, you've often heard it's the the efficiency of the post office and the customer care of the DMV or something like that. We like to think of caring for our clients like family, particularly in the area of companionship, but throughout all of our services, that we really do, we meet them where they're at, no judgment, and we're there to help, and we really go above and beyond. So not to oversell ourselves in that sense, but to really say that these are the feedback things that we've heard from clients, through volunteers that have been, touched by what they do, through our staff, of course, our board. So those are all the things. Unique challenges, I think, affordable housing. You mentioned that in your question. That's why we are stepping up, because it is a public health crisis right now. When you look at the social determinants of health, what we know is that if you you think of Maslow's hierarchy needs, and for those in your audience who may not be aware, I'm sure a lot of them are, without that base foundation, it's hard to get much else going on, right? It's hard to talk about your feelings and the things that are troubling you if you don't have shelter, stable, safe shelter over your head. So we want to make sure that's handled. That's why we have a multi-pronged approach to our housing pillar, including looking to build a new 50-unit complex right here on our facility, which we need the whole community to help step up and support. The other part is that we've been in this space for our Silver Key apartments at Heritage Plaza, have been here since the 80s. We've been a part of that, and now this new unit that hopefully we'll get the funding, knock on wood, for that coming soon. Of course, the home modification, housing navigation, so that's rent assistance, all the things that go along with that. It's a serious problem. It's colossal, and it utilizes a lot of resources from us, and that's why it sort of, out of necessity, became integrated so much into all that we do, and that's a big part. The other thing that I think that's a challenge here, it goes along with the housing, is accessibility type issues. So whether it's accessing transportation to get you around a community that's grown very out instead of up, I don't judge that. I simply say it is what it is. And so, getting people commuted around, of course, with inflation so high and hitting every area, gas is one of those, food is one of those. So those are some things that we have that are unique challenges in this community. I think, and I'll add to the transportation piece, our public transportation is good, but it's not great. And so there's not that. It's kind of a fallback. I'll just take the subway. I'll take the bus system. I'll take, whatever it might be. Many seniors don't necessarily utilize or understand how to utilize, other like rideshare services. Our service is also ADA compliant, so it's door-through-door assistance. So it's not pull up and, you get a message on your phone that says your ride's here. We get out. We help you get in. We get you into the appointment if that's what you need. And we get you signed in, make sure you're good. We'll be back in an hour or two. Is that, and then we come back for them and pick them up. So that's a unique challenge, transportation, that we're there to help fill. And then I'll go back kind of then to the positive that really kind of in this community, and again, our part in it, is the fact that we cultivate hope. And so we utilize the Hope Scale. I don't know if this is something you're familiar with, but we utilize this throughout our system in various ways. Sometimes it's very formalized and sometimes it's a little less formal. It may be that somebody kind of baselines that I don't have much faith or hope in tomorrow. Let's talk about that, right? And they could be, as simple as a conversation, or it could get very formalized in an assessment that somebody comes in to talk to our LCSW or one of our case managers or whatever that might be, where we're able to say, through the assessment, it sounds like you don't have much hope. Let's talk through that. Let's work through that. I'm not one of those professionals. I'm really glad we have the professional staff on our team to work through those. But that hope scale helps us to know, where did somebody start at and where are they at now? And what we found is, as we pour hope, as we cultivate that hope and it sprouts and it grows, that the quality of life enhances, increases, and improves drastically. And with that, the quantity of life also tends to follow that. It's not an absolute, but it tends to follow. And quite frankly, if we're going to keep you around longer, which we think is a good thing, most people do, we want it to be better as well. And so by having introduced hope into their lives through all the services, and by having connection, we know that we're making a big difference in the lives of area seniors. Yeah, so Silver Key, I know it's been described to me by some of those partners as we're like the ultimate collaborators. So I'll start kind of big and then keep bringing it in. And I want to disclaim, I'm going to forget somebody. It's like when you go to thank people and you're like, oh shoot, that's probably going to happen. With that said, are the two kind of community funds organizations with the Pikes Peak United Way, as well as the Empty Stocking Fund. Both of these are great organizations. We're partner agencies with both. We're proud to say that we've been for years and years. I know Empty Stocking Fund is 23 years. We're in the middle of the kind of their giving campaign. United Way, I think it's been about that same amount of time receiving monies from them, and so we're proud to partner with them. Well, they embody multiple partner agencies as well. Through that kind of interconnected web, the folks we've worked with, oh my goodness, so Care and Share with our pantry, that's a big one. Care and Share does tremendous work. We know the hundreds of thousands of people they serve across 30-some counties. Well, about 1/3 of all their food comes through our pantry in a year. So that's a lot of seniors we're seeing. It's between 1,500 and 2,000 seniors and their families that we're seeing every month come through our assistance pantry in partnership with Care and Share. Catholic charities, the CSFD, the Colorado Springs Fire Department, NAMI. They are actually located here on our campus, and NAMI is a great organization. We partner with them. In fact, with the Fire Department, NAMI, and the Center for Innovations in Aging Collaborative, we actually, utilizing that hope scale I mentioned, we will have a demonstratable white paper of sorts, a document that says, look, we have proof, we have evidence-based that this works, it makes a difference, that by providing proactive early intervention to those that are kind of highest at risk, we lower the overall cost of utilizing services like the fire department, sending them to the ER, folks ending up in high level, skilled care, assisted living, those type of things, which are costly, whether it be to the community or the end user, either one. We'll have that, and that's a partnership through a grant, through the Next 50 grant that we got, and we're able to implement and utilize in that way. So those are just a few. I know that during the height of the pandemic, early on, we were doing a lot of food deliveries. That was in partnership with Salvation Army, Care and Share, United Way, and others that we were doing that. Boy, like I said, I know I'm forgetting people. Peak Vista's been a great partner. With getting seniors vaccinated, that type of thing. Again, they were disproportionately impacted. When you look at the rate of death and things like that, it was seniors that were dying by large part. Other people got hospitalized, but it was seniors that didn't make it through. And again, there's so many. I really feel bad if I forget anybody, but we love all of our partners, and we really like to collaborate wherever we can. Oh, I did think of another one I have to mention. We just announced a grant that was funded to us in partnership with Habitat for Humanity for the home modification And so we have dollars that we now help support another nonprofit by giving vouchers to those seniors that come through our case management and things that say, I could stay in my home, reduce my costs, have a better quality of life if you can get me some grab bars, if you can get me a chairlift, if you can get a ramp into my home, those types of things. So I could go on and on with that. Awesome. So you can probably see behind me over here, it's kind of small on your screen. There's another one I can show you if you want to walk around later or whatever. It talks about a typical day at Silver Key with and without volunteers. So our volunteers truly are the heartbeat of the organization. They enhance and amplify everything that we do. I will say this emphatically. We could not do what we do to the scale that we do it without our volunteers. Like, period, hard stop. We have currently more than 450 active volunteers. It sounds like a lot, and it is, but we always need more. And as I said, the need keeps growing. We need volunteers. It equates to right now some 18 to 20 FTEs. So they go above and beyond in serving. I'll give you a couple examples for those people that are numbers people. The first one is that, give or take, we do about 100 and let me take a quick cheat sheet here. 120 rides per day on average because of volunteers. Without them, that number drops to like 80. When it comes to companionship, we do about 50 companionship visits a day. That drops to like, 10 or 12 without our volunteers. I could go on and on through all the examples of each service. The other part, if you're kind of dollars and cents, that's more than $4,000, almost $5,000 a day in salary savings for the number of days we're open. That's more than $1 million salary savings that we can then keep into the system to give direct care services. When people wonder about, how are we using the dollars? Well, more than 84 cents of every dollar goes directly to helping people in need, not fundraising, not administrative, which people are concerned with. And we're concerned with it too. And so volunteers help make that happen. A couple of really cool things about our volunteers. Number one, we call it our VIP program, our Volunteer Impact Program. Well, it is a play on that VIP. They're important to us, and they're impactful. We have all kinds of upskilled ways for folks to be involved and to make a difference. So filling boxes of food from the pantry to putting food into trays and then packaging that, delivering it out for meals. People know that, they understand it. But we utilize them in our administrative areas. So we have like front desk coverage. We use them in marketing. We've had interns from PPCC and other people that want to, say, I have this skill set. I like to help out and give it. We have people that help research grants. We've had people in the accounting area, drivers for our shuttles. The list just, again, it's too exhaustive to name all the ways that we utilize volunteers in really unique and kind of upskilled ways. So I'd love this, somebody that has like an IT background, website development. We're really looking for you. So I'm putting a plug out there. So if you know somebody that can do that, that really knows their stuff and can help us with that, boy, just a few hours a week could save us costs and make a big difference in the lives of seniors here. So I'll end with this on the volunteers if I didn't sell them enough in that sense, because, man, our volunteers are amazing. They say with volunteers, it's not that they have an abundance of time, but an abundance of heart. And it really shows, and they really care about all that they can do with our seniors. In our companionship services, for example, one of the newest sort of brands out there with us is our Reassurance Plus service. So this is a self-pay, private pay service that folks can purchase 1 to 7 days of a volunteer companion going in and spending time with them for an hour or two per visit. They bring with them a Silver Key meal, and then they spend time, playing cards, having a conversation, doing light errands, taking them to the park, whatever it might be. And for those that choose that's where they would like to be in this world of volunteering, I promise you that as much as the client, the senior, gets something out of that, that volunteer gets a whole lot, if not more, out of it too. And we have testimonies to that fact, and it's just amazing. Great question. My shortest answer. Call our silver line, our main silver line, 719-884-2300. That's 719-884-2300. They can email us at info@silverkey.org. Visit our website, silverkey.org. Those are all easy, simple ways. And I would also put on there social media. So we're on all 4 or 5 major platforms. Like, comment, share us on social media. It's another great way to connect. But if you're wanting to activate services, one of the fastest, easiest ways, call that Silverline number, email info@silverkey.org. So a lot of the times in my role, I hear about the accounts, the stories, kind of second or third hand, right? Um, Marketing, fundraising, the public relations, that type of thing. The people that are kind of the boots on the ground, that are there every day, kind of in the trenches, making sure that seniors get the care that they need and deserve. They share these stories. Well, one of them right now we're highlighting through our end of year campaign is Eugene's story. Eugene is a client of ours. You can also find this at silverkey.org/give hope. So you can also go in there and see Eugene's story and video about it. Um, his wife of, I don't know, 50 years, something like that, she passed away of cancer after a long battle with cancer. Cost a lot of resource money for him, and then it took a heavy toll mentally. Um, when Eugene came to us, and I'm probably gonna, get his story not nearly as I could not tell it as well as he could, but what I can say is that he was now limited on resource. He was full of despair and hopelessness. He was struggling to see what tomorrow would bring. Eating because of dentures, hearing because of hearing aids, and the list goes on. So he had multiple complex challenges occurring for him. Well, he got connected with Annie, one of our case managers here at Silver Key, and Annie navigated him through all of the travails of life, and as doing so, he is, well, in his own words, look at him now. He is doing so much better. That he needed a fix to his like washer or dryer. We got that taken care of through some emergency assistance funding. Did so at a great rate, so we make the dollars go far. Got him hooked up with dentures through partners in the community that we work with and resources that we have. And sometimes that's what it is. We're the center is at the hub, and we reach out to those spokes that help us out. So it's not that we necessarily can fix every single little thing, right? But we know where to get them connected up, and that's a big part of what we do. And so we did that. We did that with the hearing aids. We got him set up with meals, with companionship, all those services. And Eugene now is thriving independently with dignity. And that's a success story that is happening right now. And you can see that in his own words on our website, Eugene's story. So I would encourage anyone listening, watching this, that they would check that out and then share the story with others. We just completed in August our 50th anniversary gala. It was a big gala. It was kind of like one of the first events coming out of the whole COVID, really hardcore stuff. I know it's still lingering around us here, but we were at the Boot Barn Hall, and we were able to celebrate that with almost 500 people in attendance. You can watch all the program and everything on our website. The other thing is that so we raised a lot through that, and we were able to celebrate. It was kind of a truly a friend raiser where we got people who had been kind of with us all along, and at the same time new people and those voices and things like that. So that's kind of the past. We just celebrated that. It feels like to me just the other day, but it was August, and here we are almost December. And all of that to be said, we are looking forward to next year's event, which I'm not ready to yet spoil what it is, but I'm going to tease that it's going to be something a little bit different and unique. Our gala was unlike any other that people have been to. It was a strolling soiree where there were fun stations throughout. We had people comment that second only to their own wedding, and other people saying better than their wedding, that it was like the most fun type of event that they've been to. I say that proudly because this team put together an amazing event for a great cause. And at the same time, we really look forward to what's coming this next year. We hope, knock on wood, that it'll be in May of 2022. Location not picked, date not picked, but we do have a strong framework of what we want to do, and it will too be unique and different and be a friend raiser, fundraiser, and overall community awareness event where people can come and be a part. So stay tuned. So for the future, a lot of it has to do with expanding and enhancing. These are kind of my buzzwords, but it's absolutely true what we're already doing. But we want to do so sustainably. So in the world of nonprofits, and this is kind of like, let me take you to Nonprofit 101 for a second, the landscape of philanthropy is changing markedly. I'm not going to get into, how many people, the wealthiest 10% or 1% and how many people, I'm not going to get into all that. What I will say is that we want to move from being so dependent on donations purely to a sustainable model utilizing the private pay, self-pay, and I'm going to include with that insurances. That's Medicaid, Medicare, private insurance, as a method that anyone that chooses to utilize our services is able to do so at a competitive rate, not sacrificing quality, and getting compassionate wraparound family service care. So one of the ways that folks can support when you think about the future is that your getting care is our giving care. That's our saying. Your getting care is our giving care. It's a real play on words. It's intended to say that when you are exploring needing care for yourself or a loved one, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, that when you look at company XYZ, that when you compare them to us, again, high quality, compassionate care, that you choose us as a conscientious consumer that says 100% of proceeds go to serving those without resource. So when you have the means and you were exploring, I won't name companies, but other places, that you picked us, that you still got a great deal. You're getting the help you needed anyway, but by choosing us, you're now taking any of the profit margin we built in to go to giving care to those in need. This is a way. It's in our corpus. It's at our core of what we do. We're good at it. We know it. We're trusted. And now we can continue to make sure that everyone that's without resource gets the need. I'll give you an example. With Meals on Wheels, and we could pick anything. If we get so much funding from donations, grants, all those types of resources, and avenues of which you can get dollars, if you get enough to, say, help 100 people, well, I sure hope that you or loved one are number 101 or 102 because we don't have enough. Or some would say, just raise more. But what if you don't? What if you can't? What if it's not timely enough? And I could go on and on through all the reasons. So the fact of the matter is that we want people to know if you need to eat, I bet you eat, I eat, we all eat. So choose to get a home delivered meal from us. Any person can get our home delivered meals. And again, 100% of proceeds go to putting dollars into the fund to give meals to those in need. It's a win. You have to eat anyway. You're getting great food. It is great food, by the way. And at the same time, that person that was saying, I don't know where my next meal is coming from, we can now provide it as a result. So while donations, grants, and government funding is always going to be a part of the 501c3 makeup, it's part of that calculus, we want it to be less dependent on that and more coming in from others in the community that say, Silver Key serves all seniors. It's got all the services, and it serves all neighborhoods. That's me. That's my loved one. I'm going to choose them. So the future looks a lot like that. It looks a lot like doing what we do with more people, more services. I talked about housing, and that this one building, that's the beginning, not an end, right? When we talk about meals and rides and all that stuff, we want to keep expanding. We want to go the service extension. We want it to go not just out east, but we want to go south, and we want to go north, and we want to go west. I'm thinking Teller County. I'm thinking, Fountain, Security, Whitefield. Who knows, into the Pueblo region. So these are all things that, we're ambitious to do, not for our own sake, but for the sake of those that are in need. So that's what I can tell you right now that we're going. And, there's a great vision here with our leadership team and our president and CEO. And so we're optimistic about what that looks like. I like to share, you've heard this, maybe you're moved by it, you're energized by it. I hope so. I hope you're inspired. I hope that maybe you've heard this and want to learn more and be a part of just the power that's here at Silver Key. And with that, I would name a few ways that you can help. And I think the first thing is, of course, we always need those donations. I just said we want to be less dependent on. If you're an organization, a business, think about sponsorship. We have a large network of sponsors, and we know that while there is that declaration to the community that says we support quality, healthy aging, there's also an element of getting the word out that they do so. And we help make sure that that word gets out. So we promote our sponsors in a big way. The second thing, think about becoming a VIP volunteer. I mentioned all the ways that folks can do it. They can do it in the behavioral health, the mental health, the health and wellness area, along with all the other spaces that we have. So think about becoming a VIP volunteer and investing in people's lives that way. Third, donate, shop, repeat at our Silver Key Friends thrift store. So our thrift store is located at 1605 South Murray. It's connected here to the administrative building. It's open to all ages, so please dispel the myth that it's only for seniors. It is open to all ages. We have a wide variety of products, including we specialize in DME, durable medical equipment. So if you need canes, walkers, hospital beds, incontinent products, all the types of things that are costly, we have them here, and we clean everything. We have what's called a hub scrub, and it medically sanitizes in a way that we can feel good about selling it at a fraction of the cost you could on new, but it's like new in many ways, and then people can feel really good about utilizing it. So our friend's thrift store has all types of items. I mentioned those specialty things, but people find really great stuff here at a great price, and again, 100% of proceeds go to serving seniors in need. The fourth thing that folks can do is to, again, like, share, comment, follow us on all the major social media platforms, particularly Facebook. It's the largest. It's a cost-effective and timely way for us to get our message out. And so I would behoove anybody watching to please do so. And when we have a Giving Tuesday, when we have a Colorado Gives Day, when we have our next event, you're helping us message out. That's an inexpensive way for you to have great impact to a lot of people. The algorithms and all that stuff has changed how that works, and we cannot do it without the community coming together. So those are 4 primary ways that I would encourage the folks to think about being a part of all that we do at Silver Key, and you helping to make this the best community in the nation to age.